In the bustling metropolis of San Ventura, a morning of quiet preparation was unfolding. In the small apartment of Dr. Lena Scott, a single mother and a highly regarded cardiothoracic surgeon. At 37, Lena carried the weight of her profession and the memory of her late husband, Captain James Scott, whose Air Force uniform and medals were a cherished presence in their home. Her hands, famed for their life-saving precision, were currently focused on a task equally vital to her, preparing her daughter Mia for a difficult journey. Mia, 8 years old and filled with her father's easy curiosity, was packing for her paternal grandmother's funeral in Phoenix to honor James's unfulfilled dream of treating his girls to a luxury flight. Lena had used some savings to purchase first-class tickets for their outbound flight 4 hours later at San Ventura International Airport. Mia's excitement was palpable as they navigated the terminals. Her joy, however, was in stark contrast to the mood of a fellow first-class passenger. Eleanor Vance, 51, a self-proclaimed financial guru with a collapsing portfolio of speculative real estate, boarded the flight with a palpable air of entitled frustration. Flanked by her weary assistant Philip, she complained bitterly about the lack of exclusivity in the premium cabin, unaware that her business was circling a financial drain. After a major deal was lost to a successful minority LED development group, Lena and Mia settled into their seats 2A and 2B. As Mia reached up to stow her small backpack, her elbow barely grazed the seat of Eleanor Vance in 1A. Eleanor turned slowly, her expression freezing. Mia's smile instantly. Some individuals truly lack the refinement required for this environment. Eleanor's voice cut through the pre-takeoff murmurs. Lena offered a brief, quiet apology for the accidental contact, a gesture Eleanor dismissed with a cold stare. Tension was immediately noted by Sophia Torres, a flight attendant with a seasoned eye for interpersonal conflict, who quickly approached Mia with an encouraging smile and a small pin, attempting to diffuse the atmosphere. As the plane taxied, Eleanor made a discreet yet audible phone call to her lawyer, her voice sharp with panic over impending foreclosures. She blamed the collapse of her empire on these diversity mandates and programs, the thinly veiled prejudice resonating through the small cabin. Philip, her assistant, stared at his tablet silently, wishing for an exit from his gilded cage of student loan-induced servitude. 20 minutes after takeoff, a brief patch of turbulence jolted the plane. Mia, holding her cup of apple juice, tipped it slightly, splashing a few drops onto the edge of Eleanor's handbag. Resting in the aisle, Eleanor erupted. "Look what your child has done. This accessory is highly valuable and she has ruined it. I demand immediate compensation." Lena, though shaken, calmly offered to have the item professionally cleaned. "Your type always has an excuse." Eleanor sneered the term "your type," turning the incident from an accident into an intentional act of malice. In an effort to help, Mia reached out with a napkin to wipe the drops. Eleanor's hand shot out, slapping the napkin away. "Do not touch me with your unhygienic hands." The cabin gasped. Lena held Mia close, absorbing the child's silent tears. The professional composure of Dr. Scott, warring with the protective fury of a mother. 10 minutes later, Mia whispered that she needed to use the lavatory, which was located just beyond Eleanor's seat. As Lena helped Mia stand, Eleanor deliberately extended her legs into the narrow aisle. Creating a barrier, Lena politely asked her to move. Eleanor ignored them, staring at her phone. Mia, trying to squeeze past, was halfway through when Eleanor's foot shot out. Her designer heel connected sharply with Mia's lower abdomen. Mia's scream of agony silenced the cabin. She doubled over, clutching her stomach. Struggling to breathe, Lena was instantly on her knees, the surgeon taking over her hands, steady despite her shattering heart. Performed a quick, precise assessment for internal injuries. Sophia rushed forward, joined by the co-pilot. Eleanor stood up, her face flushed, immediately fabricating a defense. "She was practically attacking me. I was defending myself from his seat." Mr. David Shaw, a corporate litigator, stood holding up his phone. "I recorded the entire incident. She deliberately assaulted that child." Other passengers confirmed the recording, their voices unified in shock and anger. An elderly couple, the Mr. and Mrs. Harrison, retired educators, stood to confirm the assault. Lena, after ensuring Mia was stable and cared for by a kind passenger, stood. She turned to Eleanor, her face a mask of terrifying calm. "I require your full identification now." Eleanor laughed, a high panic sound. "You'll do nothing. Do you know who I am? I am untouchable." Lena pulled out her phone and made a short, quiet call, her voice as detached as if giving a medical instruction. The pilot announced that law enforcement and medical personnel would meet the flight upon landing. In Phoenix, upon landing, Officer Maria Sanchez, LED, a team aboard. Eleanor immediately began her frantic performance. Claiming to be the victim of a fabricated attack, Mr. Cho provided his damning video evidence. The Harrisons offered their articulate and authoritative witness statements. Philip, Eleanor's assistant, walked up to Lena and, shaking, handed her his phone.
"I've been documenting her abusive and bigoted behavior for months."
"I quit. She needs to be stopped." The evidence was undeniable. Officer Sanchez placed Eleanor Vance under arrest for assault and battery of a minor. Eleanor's threats to ruin everyone were met with the officer's professional indifference. At the Phoenix police station 2 hours later, Lena held a slightly bruised Mia. In a separate room, Eleanor's high-powered attorney, Mr. George Vance, reviewed the evidence with a grim expression. "Eleanor, there is no defense. The evidence is overwhelming." Lena, accompanied by her attorney, Miss Evelyn Reed, met with Mr. Vance. "Mr. Vance," Lena began, her voice calm, I am Dr. Lena Scott. I also sit on the medical review board for St. Jude's Specialty Clinic, which coincidentally is managing your client's mother's, Mrs. Vivian Vance's unique chemotherapy trial. I also happen to be a lead investor in the minority Desert Rose Development Group that recently outbid your client on the Mesa project. Vance's pen stopped mid-stroke. Lena continued, "I will not seek maximum criminal punishment and will forego a ruinous civil suit. Under these conditions, Eleanor will complete 200 hours of mandated verifiable community service at a clinic for underserved communities. She will attend intensive counseling and bias training. She will issue a complete public apology, and she will endow a $100,000 scholarship for future minority medical students. If she refuses, I will pursue maximum criminal and civil charges. And I will ensure her mother's necessary medical slot goes to one of the 200 people on the waiting list who might need it more." Lena looked directly at Vance. "Your client kicked my 8-year-old daughter because of the color of her skin. I don't want revenge, I want transformation. She has 24 hours to accept the terms." 6 months later, Eleanor Vance, dressed in nondescript attire, worked at the Desert Bloom Community Clinic. Her initial bitterness slowly yielded to shame, then reluctant empathy. As she worked with children from the communities she once despised, her therapy sessions forced her to confront the toxic elitism of her upbringing. At a local health fair, Mia, now 9 and fully recovered, helped her mother at a booth. Eleanor approached Dr. Scott. "I thank you for the chance you gave me. I'm trying to be a better person. I did not want to destroy you." "Eleanor," Lena replied, "I wanted to rebuild you. Punishment hardens hearts. Perspective changes them." Eleanor knelt before Mia. "I did something horrible. I'm deeply sorry for the hatred and pain I inflicted. You deserved kindness and I gave you cruelty." Mia, her gaze clear, echoed her mother's teachings. "Mama says forgiveness is letting go of the anger, so it doesn't make me bitter like you used to be." "I forgive you," Eleanor, truly humbled, wept. The shame had finally given way to a desire for true atonement. Later that week, she established the Mia Scott Scholarship for Future Healers, a fully endowed college fund, acknowledging that the little girl had taught her more about humanity than 50 years of accumulated wealth. Lena and Mia visited James's grave, discussing how true victory was not in fighting back, but in changing hearts one transformed heart at a time.